What's up, Alabama fans? It's Andrew Bone here with BamaInsider.com. We got a special guest with us, and that is Wilkin Formby, top 100 offensive lineman out of Northridge High School in Tuscaloosa, is signing with Alabama. Wilkin, man, not only signing, you're also enrolling early at Alabama. Going to be joining the Alabama team this week. Talk to us a little bit about that and how excited you are about officially joining the Alabama football team.
It's an awesome feeling knowing I can finally be a part of the team and stuff. Watching the games this season, you try to feel a part of it, but you're not necessarily a part of the team yet. But you try to feel those emotions and while you're watching the games and stuff like that. So it's great to finally be a part of the team, and then not only that, finally get to go there and start developing and getting better as well.
Now, what day are you actually getting there? And I guess you'll start practice with the team right away, right?
Correct. So today was my last day of school. So technically tomorrow, since I'm done with school, I could go, but I don't think practice starts till like Thursday or Friday. So somewhere in that range.
And there's a new rule where early enrollees can travel with the football team to the bowl game. How excited are you about that?
I cannot wait. Honestly, when I got the call from Coach, when I called Coach Wolf and we talked a little bit, he dropped that on me, and I was pretty excited to hear that.
What are your expectations for yourself going in? Obviously, you got a lot to learn pretty quickly, but tell me what are your expectations and goals just from the get go?
My expectations are just to take it day by day and understand that you're going to have good days and bad days, but to just focus on getting better each day and not look to the future too much, and really never take for granted what opportunity I have and all the blessings that God's given me.
You mentioned Coach Wilford. One thing I've learned about Coach Wolf throughout this whole process is he had a lot of great relationships with guys that are in this class before he even arrived at Alabama. He's recruited
Mhm.
a lot of guys when he was at Kentucky, so that relationship had been there for a while. But talk about the relationship that you have with them. Obviously that's been a relationship that's gone for a long time. But how's that grown throughout the last several months?
The relationship has always been a really good relationship. Honestly, I mean, since I first met him, and we were like, he was trying to get me to come to the camp, so I went to camp and things like that. Ever since I camped there and met him in person for the first time, we've had a great relationship. I even made it down for a junior day to Kentucky, and that was a great time, just getting to spend time with him and kind of pick his brain a little bit. And then when I figured out he was coming to Alabama, I got pretty excited just because someone so familiar coming to Alabama, a great program like this. It's a great combination, I think. So I mean, we have a great relationship. It's a very strong one. I feel like I definitely respect him as a coach. He's one of the best coaches out there, no doubt. And then off the field, he's a great guy as well. So you can't go wrong with him.
You had a pretty special visitor in home last week with Coach Saban making a stop to come by and see you. What was that like? Because obviously you've gone and you've met Coach Saban, you've talked to him, you've been in his office, you've committed to him, you've been a commitment for a long time, and you also are over on Alabama's campus pretty regularly. But actually having him come to your home and see you guys, what was that? What was that like for you and your family?
It was awesome just having him in my house. It's just like everything you could have dreamed or prayed for. Watching like the Blind Side movie as a kid, seeing all the coaches come through, it was like that. I mean, obviously, I mean he was there for a pretty long time too. So just getting to hear some stories and once again pick his brain, it was pretty awesome, and it was a good experience for my family as well.
What have you learned about Coach Saban, throughout this process that maybe you didn't know prior, or just talk about him in general, just being able to get to know him a little bit better.
Well, growing up here in Tuscaloosa, you know a lot about him just because, uh, you're just it's football, SEC football, Alabama football. That's all that you hear when you grow up here. So the name Coach Saban was very familiar at a young age. So getting to like meet him in person and kind of like have conversations with him was pretty awesome. And like you learn that he's just like the media kind of like makes him seem like a like over serious guy, but when you get in his office and stuff, he loosens up a little bit and really opens up and tells you the things you need to hear. So it's pretty good.
And obviously, being in Tuscaloosa, probably a lot of pressure to go to Alabama if you are a top recruit in the city, and you've got some connections, obviously, to Alabama. But what was it about Alabama that led you there? That made you want to commit and continue your career in Tuscaloosa?
There were a lot of things. I think that they're definitely proven to develop. That's a big thing for me. I want to play in the NFL one day and go to the NFL. And another thing is winning games. They win games, and it's fun to win games. And Coach Saban told it to me like this last year. The Rams and the Bengals were playing, and he was like, he doesn't care about the Rams or the Bengals, but he watched it because it's a big game. So tend to watch big games, which that's a big deal as well. And then another thing is stability with Coach Saban. I know he's going to be there, and if he's not there, he's retiring, and they're getting a new coach, so I don't have to really worry about staff changing and things like that. And lastly, I'd say Coach Wilford. We have a great relationship, and he's he's really made me feel comfortable at Alabama. So I would say that.
Now tell Alabama fans that may not know you. Hopefully, everybody knows you by now. But tell Alabama fans your current height and weight, what position you expect to play at Alabama.
Right now I'm 6'8", and then anywhere between 310 and 315. It fluctuates a lot, and offensive tackle, left or right.
What do you feel like you're best at doing, and what are some things that you feel like you still can improve on?
Oh, I could improve on a lot, but I'd say one of my strengths is pass protection. I could improve, I think, more in the run game, but that's all up to Coach Wolf, to be honest. So I'm actually looking forward to practicing so I can kind of see more of my strengths and weaknesses. I haven't practiced or played an actual practice in a really long time. Obviously, I've done drills and things like that since the season, but the season ended a little while for me. So.
Tell me what was the best part of this whole recruiting process for you? A lot of people enjoy the official visits, the in-home visits, the game day atmosphere visits, or just the whole recruiting process in general. What was your favorite part about this whole experience this last year or last couple years?
Honestly, I would say like just being able to get in and like go to facilities and things like that and spend time with these staffs and these great coaches and honestly getting to learn things from them. You get to talk so much football with these guys. So might as well take that as an advantage and just soak up as much knowledge as they can provide for you. That and then like you said earlier, the game day atmospheres were always awesome as well.
Was there anything you didn't like? Because as a top football recruit, I can see some things getting a little annoying with all the interview requests and stuff like that from reporters. But you've always been, at least with me, I don't know, I can't answer for all the other reporters, but you've always been, really, responsive to us and been great, and always open to talking. But is there anything that you didn't like, or did you just enjoy it all?
Well, a lot of times the constant phone calls and messaging with the coaches was a lot, and it was sometimes stressful when you have all these people like talking to you and trying to get you on the phone. But I always took an approach to be thankful for everything God's done for me because I know there's so many kids that would do anything to be in this position. So with that being said, it's so hard to look at it in a way like, oh, I have to get on the phone with this coach. Like instead, you should be glad that you get to get on the phone with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you committed to Alabama, and there were some other schools that were strongly in the race for you. Did it come down to, was there one or two other schools that were really in the mix that you strongly considered besides Alabama?
Um, at the time, there were like as I got closer, it narrowed down a little bit more. But from a more broad perspective, there were definitely the schools that I had listed were definite contenders. But as I got closer, like every time I took a visit somewhere, I realized how much better Alabama is, honestly. So taking visits and things like that really just helped narrow down to Alabama, honestly.
Speaking of Alabama, they have the number one recruiting class in the country, according to On Three Sports. I think they're number one pretty much everywhere. What do you think about your class? I know you've been on a lot of the visits. You've been to games. You've developed relationships with a lot of these guys. What are your thoughts about the guys that that are committed with you right now?
Honestly, I think we all have a similar goal and mindset coming in to just attack it with the mentality of like we can really make an impact and we need to do anything we can to impact and do a positive impact for Alabama. I would say that. And then it's exciting having the number one class, but I don't think that any of us are really going to get that to our head or anything. We're just going to come in and work really hard to do what we need to do.
What about some guys that you've tried to recruit throughout the process? Any guys that I'm sure you've talked to Keyon Keeley before on some of these visits, and he just committed to Alabama yesterday. I know you're excited about that, but are there any other guys that you've reached out to, tried to contact, try to help get them to Tuscaloosa as well?
Not so much recently, like in the summer and things like that, and a little bit on past that, it really was picking up. Like we were getting more commits and more visits and things like that. But at this point, most of the people have already committed who need to. And usually, I talk to the coaches and say like, "Hey, like, is this guy a good target? Is this guy a good target?" And kind of they steer me in the direction of who I need to reach out to. But Keon was one of the last like big ones we were really reaching out for. Obviously, some that were trying to get the flip and things like that, but there's still a few like D linemen and like maybe a tight end or two that we've been in contact with and things like that. But
Well, good deal. Well, finally, Alabama, didn't end the season that they wanted to. They, finished just outside of the college football playoff, but they beat Auburn in the final game. What was it like for you to just be in Tuscaloosa throughout the season, being a commitment, being around, a lot of the coaches, and just your expectations for, how Alabama can get this thing turned around and get back into the college football playoff here in the future?
well, it was pretty awesome, like you said, being in Tuscaloosa. I got to go to every single home game and got to soak up that atmosphere from a different perspective than usual. Not necessarily as a fan, but like I was saying earlier, you kind of feel like you're a part of it. That was a great feeling, and being able to be around the coaches and recruits was big as well to just build those relationships even more. And then for like kind of building Alabama back up, I feel like my class we can do a lot to support that. And as long as we just come in with the right mindset, ready to work hard and take it day by day, like I said, we should be on the right path.
What's your prediction for the Bama K State game?
Um, Honestly, I'm not even sure. I haven't really looked into it that much. I know Bama's going to win, but I don't have an exact number right now.
All right, Wilkin. Well, hey, man, we really appreciate it. I know people are excited for you. It's awesome that you're arriving this week. Wilkin Formby is going to be in Tuscaloosa, already in Tuscaloosa, lives there, but he'll be over on campus on Thursday, and we'll start practicing with the Alabama football team on Friday. And we'll try, as I'm traveling to the Sugar Bowl here next month. So, Wilkin, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you at Alabama, and we'll be looking forward to seeing how you perform. So, thank you very much.
Sure, I appreciate it.